Good evening, Rivers. Welcome to another edition of Rivet's Rivet Flash. I'm your host, Trace. With me is Red. We are at the Red Fortress, as it were, and we're going to fly off and do some flashing. Please, continue.
Well, I didn't realize we were filming for that channel today.
Oh my.
Blackberry is, well, at least it sounds like, for all intents and purposes, dead. Ding Dong, the which I used to be in love with, is dead. Blackberry announced today that they are discontinuing their classic Blackberry phone with the physical keyboard. They had introduced their final one, hoping to draw those people back that just hated the touchscreen, and it turns out that's not much of a market segment. And they're even going as far as killing off Blackberry OS, because apparently what's the point without a physical keyboard? And they're going to start releasing Android phones.
Huh.
Yeah, so, you know, I have really mixed feelings about Blackberry. Blackberry was my first smartphone. At the time, it was great. It was revolutionary. It was one of the only players, and then Apple and Google quickly outran them. And yeah, I mean, it was fun while it lasted. They were notorious for increased security. And they were also, what they said made them secure was running things over RIM's network, except RIM's network was always down. So, you know, wasn't always the greatest. BlackBerry Messenger had a cult following. I think you can, it has an Android app now, so if you want to BBM stuff, I mean, you can BBM, but why?
Right.
And then from an IT perspective, BlackBerry Enterprise Server was one of the most horrid things to ever deal with ever. So we had our times. I look back at BlackBerry as kind of an ex-girlfriend. Was fun. All three of my dogs say hi. Yeah, but yeah, I look back at BlackBerry as kind of like that ex-girlfriend who the time with them you can appreciate, but you just, it's not me, it's you.
Yeah.
You gotta move on.
Yeah, it was eventually going to go sooner or later. It's been, I'm surprised it's been holding on this long before the break.
Yeah, I mean, because it had made it this long, I was kind of thinking their cult following would sustain them indefinitely. You know, they'd just shrink market share and they would just stick at a solid X%, and they'd stick there for the next decade or so. Is kind of what I figured. But yep, the times are changing, and if you don't change with them, sometimes you get left in the dust.
Indeed. Well, all hail Android and iPhone.
Yes.
All right. What else you got there?
And well, I was just going to touch on the tech side of, you know, and like we don't usually get political here at Rivet City, and I'm going to try not to with this at all, but just thought I'd share some information that doesn't seem to get out there. And you know, there's recently a major ruling on Hillary Clinton's email scandal and her keeping classified information on a private server. And you know, you can think what you want in regards to politics and Hillary Clinton and all of that. But what has bugged me about it as an IT person and as someone who's spent time in regulated IT, there are really serious consequences for most people who improperly handle sensitive data, whether that's personal health information like medical records, or in some companies, it's all email. Depending on what they do, email is, you know, now kind of the paper trail, if you will, and they archive that for X amount of years. By law, they're required to do that. So someone gets sued or evidence needs to be reviewed. I mean, it's all there. It's supposed to all be there. And for someone at a high level, like the businesses that Trice and I worked for, some of them, man, if the CEO decided he didn't like the email system and had us spin up a separate server that wasn't getting archived, wasn't getting monitored, wasn't getting secured, giant flaming lawsuit, and in some cases criminal liability.
Especially considering the whatever the business is, right?
Yeah, and that's something that I feel like is missed because, you know, Hillary Clinton is such a hot political target. and that's the game of politics, is that, everybody's at each other's throats. So if anyone's going after Hillary Clinton for anything, it's just because they hate Hillary. It's got nothing to do with what she actually did.
Right.
Or, vice versa, or that it's only an issue because of politics. I don't know, if you're a person in a position of power and that position is regulated, whether it be private sector or public sector, you should take a good, strong lesson from what Hillary Clinton's gone through, because you probably won't be that lucky.
Yeah,
if you're in a similar
you
situation.
almost absolutely will not be that lucky. The only thing that did protect her is how powerfully politically she is. And that's even the thing too. I don't even know if that was the case. I gotta wonder about those conversations that were had hidden behind closed doors.
It's hard to say, but rest assured that if Rivet City grows to the point where we need to archive email, we won't be making that blunder because we don't want to get sued, and I don't have the faith that our names will ever carry enough weight to make us immune from legal charges.
And we shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's even more important. Whether we had the weight or not, I screw up something like that, I should get punished. Come on. I mean, that's not a screw up. That is a blatant disregard for security, blatant disregard for law.
Yeah,
and then not law that a person believes or doesn't believe in. It's a law that makes sense, and security makes sense. I mean,
it's a policy, and we obviously don't get to see what emails were recovered were dumped, and WikiLeaks has them.
right.
So we can sift through and decide whether or not we really believe it ought to be classified. But the point is, those policies exist for a reason, and the reason they exist, whether it's business, public sector, private sector, that if you find yourself in a situation where you're working at a regulated place, and they archive data, participate in the data archive. It is important. Securing your servers against attack is also important.
Mm-hmm.
If you are the one that makes a server vulnerable for your own convenience, the flaming ball of fire will land on your head. It usually does.
And absolutely. And I today saw an email covering how much has been paid out in ransomware in the last 2 years. It was 20 million or so in 2015, and now 2016 to date was like 209 million. So, lesson to you kids out there, and adults, people, whatever. This stuff is only growing, and you got to make sure your stuff is secure. Period. All this stuff can be avoided with some simple security. Simple best practices. Simple, easy to implement. Just follow them.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. Well, got anything else for us?
That's all I got. You had the fun one. You had the fun one.
I had the fun one. Not trying to save the fun stuff for me, but
yeah. He's usually better at divvying out the fun.
So, Juno.
Not the film.
Not
the
film. Not the pregnant teenager. Nor the town.
Oh yes, the town.
The town,
Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
But not also spelled that way either.
Yep.
But the spacecraft. Now we decided, we as a NASA decided to fire a spacecraft over to Jupiter. We used to have one orbiting Jupiter from 95 to 03, but that has since gone away. Took a nosedive into the big gas giant, never to be seen again, or kidnapped by aliens. Who knows? Anyway, probably aliens. So the Juno spacecraft has completed its 5-year journey to Jupiter. Completing, by the way, what's kind of cool is we launched it out in 2011. Mm-hmm. It completed a big circle around back to Earth, and then used Earth's gravity to further slingshot it out to Jupiter to gain like 16,000 miles an hour of speed.
Yeah, and that's a similar technique to what Voyager used to make it as far as it has so far, right?
Absolutely. So after that slingshot, it found its way over to the big gas giant Jupiter, and it's named Juno. Fun fact, because Juno was the wife in Roman mythology of Jupiter, and
Oh.
Jupiter was known for a lot of mischief and a lot of having, shall we say, mistresses and fathering a bunch of children, which that's a happen in a lot of mythology, especially by like Zeus and Jupiter. And the lore is that that Juno saw right through Jupiter's mischief, or opened the veil to see Jupiter's mischief, which is what Juno, the satellite or spacecraft, is doing, is going over to Jupiter and checking out what Jupiter's actually doing. Does it have a rocky core? What's causing the high amount of winds? All that good stuff. So that's what Juno's doing there. And by the way, like all of Jupiter's moons and all its orbiting bodies are named after children or mistresses of Jupiter. Like all 67 moons and some other stuff. So finally, NASA started running out of names, so they started going to the children of it used to be all the mistresses. Now it's all the children.
Mistresses and children.
Yeah. So
we don't find too many more things, we will be good.
Right. So. But yeah, it's there to study. It's going to be there for a few years, and they're going to eventually intentionally crash it into Jupiter.
That's going to get us more data, right?
Absolutely. I mean, imagine flying. You got to wonder, like flying right through into the gas giant, just seeing what it's going to be able to see before it inevitably melts or gets destroyed by the winds. I mean, who knows what the exact cause of death is going to be? But what is another fun little fact is that there's 3 little Legos on the spacecraft. One for Galileo, who discovered Jupiter in the 1600s, or who officially discovered and named. There was one other scientist, I'm forgetting the name of, who also did it around the same time. And 2 Legos representing Jupiter and Juno.
So like the Lego characters?
Yeah, no, like they built custom Legos out of aluminum. So they're like Lego figurines out of aluminum, so they'd survive the voyage, essentially. But I don't know.
Legos aren't strong enough to like travel through space.
Yeah, plastic, right? Yeah, who knows? So there you go. I mean, it's chilling out there, and humans, we have a big spacecraft orbiting Jupiter. I mean, just that is amazing.
Then we shot around our own planet first.
Yeah, math.
Yes, science, physics,
science. So there we go.
STEM,
right?
STEM.
So. If you want to do something cool, learn that STEM. So, all right, yeah, I'm excited about that thing. I'm in awe and massive amount of curiosity. What's going to get brought back? What kind of data is going to get brought back? Does it have a rocky core? Are there aliens there? Probably not. But
didn't our science books when we were in high school say that they thought it had a liquid core, but now they're suddenly suspecting it as a where's that coming from?
They're wondering if it does or not. It's impossible to tell. It's so hard to penetrate all the gas, right? With what we have now. So I mean, having a probe there is going to make a big difference, and you'll be able to tell that. Now our technology is a lot more sophisticated than it was in 1995 when the first probe was launched.
That would be about as old as our science books were in our high school.
Exactly. And there it is. So yeah, I mean, I'm curious, and I also want to know. I don't know if they're going to collect any data on moons, but I'd be curious to see if they're going to do any just kind of additional quick data gathering on Titan and Europa, because those are the 2 that are most likely able to either support life or have created their own life. It's a possibility, because one Titan has a I think it's Titan, has a rocky surface, and it has volcanoes that spit out water, essentially, at least a form of it. And then also Europa has a subsurface ocean, which in the surface is all ice. So so there's a lot of potential building blocks for life.
Sweet.
So it might be a thing one day where we get a probe out there and see if there is life. It might be a thing one day when we get out there and discover there is already life, and there's big ocean octopuses there. So I don't know, but I mean, it would be really good is if we can study that, maybe even put like a moon base out there someday. I mean, that'd be where that's what you could stick it, I guess. But good stuff.
Yes,
that's awesome. Other than that, big thing one other thing I want to cover really quick is we were at least some of us were at Convergence over the weekend. What a phenomenal, fun event. Myself, Didac, Wolfa, and Snow were all there. I want to make sure we talk about this. Congratulations to Snell and his now fiance.
Yes.
They did a little waltz on the main floor, and he proposed to her right after, and she said yes, and there was much cheering, much rejoicing, and
Think they'd get mad if we put the video on the page?
the video. I don't have video, but I have photography.
Well, the video's on his page.
Oh, you're right.
Like we could, and I almost did while I wasn't at Convergence.
Mhm.
I'm like, maybe they want to wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought about it. It was really adorable because they're really adorable little music nerds.
Yeah, totally. I took a bunch of pictures of it, and I have this like sequence of pictures where she says yes, he's on his knees, she says yes, and he immediately goes to pick her up and swing her around. But it looks like if you just stop the sequence, it looks like he's gonna spear her into a wall.
It's an old Viking tradition,
right?
tackling your TV wife.
Right. I may make it a gift. We'll see. But anywho, so there's that. There was a lot of really cool room parties. There was a full Star Trek room. I mean, it was completely built out to look like a ship bridge, and there was a teleporter and all that good stuff. There was a Hobbit room. There was a Spartan room. There was a Royal Manticoran Navy room. All sorts of good stuff, and we're gonna post a review on that probably next week. So I'll get everybody's 2 cents.
Yeah, everything I've heard from everybody I knew that was there, and everything I saw on Facebook while I wasn't there, I fully intend to be there next year. My dad had a happy birthday to Dad. Skipping your 65th birthday party at a sci-fi convention. Love you, Dad.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of amazing costumes, a lot of fun stuff to do. I think next year I'm definitely going on Thursday. I only went Friday through Sunday.
Yeah. That seemed to be the general consensus for most of the people.
Yeah.
Which is good to know because I would have just went after work on Fridays. So
yeah, definitely just go through, take work Thursday and Friday off, go Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Just knock it out. But yeah, other than that, we'll post a little more full review on that later. But I think that's all I have. I know you were streaming tonight.
Yeah, I'm streaming tonight at 10 p.m. I'm assuming Wolfpaw's going to be joining me again. She usually does. I've still got Humble Bundle codes to give away to people with enough Revo points. So come in, hang out and chat, painfully critique my Borderlands play, or just, yell random stuff or whatever. And get enough Revo points. In code.
Yes, twitch.tv, whack, Rivet City, red. Yeah. All right. Well, rock and roll. Thanks for coming out and joining us. Find us on Twitter at Rivet City Ltd. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com, whack, Rivet City Limited, or of course, find us on our website, rivetcitylimited.com. I'm Rivet Stritus, and this is Red, signing off.